Dear friends, this Shabbat we're going to be reading the portion of Pinchas. Pinchas is one of the most fascinating stories and fellows we find in the Torah, because here is the only place we find where the Torah sanctions zealotry. And Pinchas, who ended up killing Zimri, the head of one of the tribes of Shimon, in order to stop the terrible atrocity that was happening amongst the Jewish people, that was plaguing the Jewish people at the time and threatening the existence of the Jewish people, their spiritual existence, and therefore God's protection. And Pinchas stopped it by his act of killing Zimri. And this act was rewarded by God with peace. He brought peace, and I'm going to give him the blessing of the priesthood, which is all about peace and lovingness. And the question is, why do we sanction zealotry? We live in a time when we see those who are very zealot and those who are very extreme and radicalism, and they don't look good at all. And we know throughout history, radicalism was very often, even when done in the name of God, and maybe especially when done in the name of God, was something that was very detrimental and terrible. So how does the Torah sanction, and what is it connected with peace? But perhaps in here we see something very interesting, that Pinchas, as a person, was not a zealot. Pinchas was not this loud, passionate person that was wild and extreme by nature. On the contrary, Pinchas was a quiet, unassuming person. When he saw what was going on, it was bothering him, but he went to the leaders to tell them, you do something. Because this wasn't in him, this extreme where he felt he had to do something. But when Moshe told him, you're the one who reminded us of the law, you go carry it out, Pinchas went to do something that was against his nature. But he did it for one reason only. And that is, it wasn't about selfishness, it wasn't about himself, it wasn't about his feeling, it was just there to protect the wholesomeness of God and his people, to protect the Jewish people, to protect the defamity of God that was happening at that time. And that, the Torah says, God sanctions. To mix in your extreme judgment of others, to mix into your extreme feelings, your own feelings, not what you're protecting, what God told us, the morals he gave us, but it's about how you feel, then it becomes very dangerous and it only brings negative. That's the radicalism we try to get rid of. But an extremism that is born unnaturally just to protect someone else, God's honor, the honor of the Jewish people, but it's not mixed in with your own feelings and your own nature to do this and behave in that way, then it is acceptable. And that is why in all our things in life, when we're talking to our children, we're talking to our spouses, we're talking to our colleagues, when we're dealing with other people, friends, and we may be upset about something or we may be judgmental, we always have to take a step back and say, is it something that I'm trying to protect them, I'm trying to help them, I'm trying to do what God wants us to do, or is it my own personal feelings, my own nature that's driving this? And if you have any doubt, do not pass judgment, do not converse with those feelings, talk lovingly. And this is the secret to good relationships. And now we're in a time we have to worry about, how do we fix up our relationships? How do we bring more love within families, within our community, within the world, people to get along with each other, to really help each other? It's never to bring in our own personal feelings of how we feel and we react, but really to follow what God wants us to do. And the lesson that he brought out to us, which is overridingly Avat Yisrael, love of a fellow Jew, shalom, peace, not cowardice, but peace, fighting for peace, believing in peace, believing in the wholesomeness of our family, of our community, and our people. And with that, very soon we'll merit the coming of Mashiach and the rebuilding of the third temple quickly in our days. May God bless every one of us. Bless you all. Shabbat Shalom. Candlelighting time in Montreal is 8:27 p.m. tonight.